Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on something most of us do every single day without even thinking about it: reading. We're going to break down the very first steps of this incredible skill by looking at how just one single sound is taught.
Okay, so let's dive right in. The ant is red. This looks super simple, right? It's something you'd see in a children's book. But here's the thing. This sentence isn't the beginning, it's the finish line. It's the triumphant result of a really complex, super carefully constructed learning process.
And that's the real mystery, isn't it? How do our brains learn to look at these squiggles on a screen and see a story about a red ant? Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to peel back the layers and look at the hidden architecture behind this amazing skill. So where do you even start? Well, the first, and honestly maybe the most important rule, is that good teaching never ever starts from scratch. It always connects to something the learner already has in their head.
And this is where it gets really smart. Look at how the lesson in our source material begins. It doesn't just throw a new fact at the student. No, instead it asks them to reach back, to pull something from their memory. This is a super deliberate and really powerful first move.
The lesson kicks off with a sound they've already been taught: the S sound. By starting on familiar ground, it builds confidence. It creates this solid, stable foundation that you can then attach the new information to. It's kind of like a rock climber, making sure they have a secure handhold before they reach for the next one. And what we're seeing here is a classic example of something called educational scaffolding. Think about it like building a house. You put up this whole temporary structure, the scaffold, to support the walls while you're working. But once the walls are strong enough to stand on their own, you take the scaffold away. Starting with that S sound, that's the first pull in the scaffold.
Okay, so our foundation is set. The anchor is in place. Now it's time to introduce the new building block. This is the real heart of the lesson, the one new piece of information that's going to unlock a whole new world of possibilities.
And get this, look at how it's done. It's not a statement, it's a question. That simple little shift from "here's the sound" to "what do you think the sound is?" It changes everything. It turns the learner from just a passive listener into an active participant. It sparks curiosity, it builds a little bit of excitement.
And boom, there it is, the short ass sound, like an ant or axe. Now, what's so incredible here is that this entire, detailed, carefully structured lesson is designed to teach just this one sound. Everything, every single step, is about making sure this one piece of the code lands.
What we're really watching here is the core principle of phonics in action. See, this method isn't about trying to memorize thousands and thousands of individual words. That's impossible. It's about learning the code, the relationship between the letters and the sounds that lets you figure out any word, even ones you've never ever seen before.
All right, now we get to the really cool part. This is where the magic happens. This is the moment where all these abstract little pieces, these individual sounds, get assembled into something real, something that has actual meaning. This is the leap. The lesson signals a big shift. It's basically saying, okay, we've learned the new piece, now let's use it. Let's build something. All that prep work, the scaffolding, remembering the old sound, learning the new sound, it's all been leading up to this moment. This is the payoff. This slide just visualizes the incredible, invisible gymnastics our brain is doing in a split second. First, you see the shapes. Then, your brain recalls the sounds for those shapes. Then it blends them together: A, N, T. And finally, your brain recognizes the pattern as a word: ant. It's this lightning-fast workout that pretty soon we do without even knowing it's happening.
And here we see the true power of learning the code. By mastering just one new sound, the learner hasn't just learned one new word. No way! They've unlocked the ability to read ant and axe and to understand them in whole sentences. The system creates more than you put into it. It's like one key that suddenly opens a whole bunch of new doors.
So, you might be wondering, why did we just spend all this time breaking down how to teach one single sound? Because when you understand this tiny micro process, you suddenly understand the entire philosophy behind building one of the most important macro skills humanity has ever developed.
When you get right down to it, this isn't just about the A sound. Not at all. It's about giving a child a system, a tool that they can use for the rest of their lives. This step-by-step approach literally builds the neural highways for fluent reading. It establishes confidence with every little win, and it creates this unshakable foundation for everything else they're ever going to learn. And we can't forget just how profoundly important this skill is. Like Kofi Annan said, literacy is a bridge from misery to hope. That bridge, that absolutely life-changing structure, is built one small, solid, perfectly placed piece at a time, starting with something as simple as the sound ah.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? From tying your shoes to driving a car. What other simple skills that we just take for granted are actually these incredible masterpieces of cognitive architecture, built piece by tiny piece, just like learning to read? Something to think about.